Hey guys, welcome to another Grizzled Beagle playthrough. This is Jotsam.
And this is Kreslev.
And there is no Dingo, because Dingo decided vacation was more important than doing things with his friends and for his fan base.
Well, in Dingo's defense, he is at a convention about eating babies.
Well, I didn't know there was that much to learn on the subject, but anyway, with this video...
It's a very, very intricate field.
I guess so. It looks simple from the outside, is typically the case with those. But in this video, we're continuing with Smushy, from where I died many times last time. Let's see if that happens again now.
When are you going to get some marshmallows for that fire?
I believe you've asked that question before, and the answer is never. Absolutely never. That is not part of... This is a serious game for adults, for grown-ups.
Are you saying that s'mores are not serious? I take s'mores very seriously.
S'mores are distinctly childish. And Smushy would have nothing of that. Clearly, he is a mature, responsible human being, likely with a girlfriend or wife.
A girlfriend and wife?
Well,
Smushy, you dog.
That's a certain level of maturity that we reach right around 45 or 50. But at this point, he's more like a 30-year-old, spry zombie 30-year-old.
Well, so wait, is his girlfriend like a 20-year-old something that's recently in college?
Recently in college? I would say Smushy's the kind of guy who has a girlfriend who didn't go to college. I don't know why,
so
I'm just getting that vibe.
Are you saying that Smushy doesn't like educated women?
I'm saying Smushy doesn't let them live long enough to get an education. He's kind of a Henry VIII type
Smushy,
boyfriend.
You dog. Oh my god, that's such a huge smarter.
Yeah. That's why this level sucks. Oh, by the way, I didn't speed up anything in this video because I want the viewer to be as tortured.
No.
I want them to be as tortured by the Tomb of the Giants as I am. It is just terrible. It is the worst part of this game.
Wait, this place is called the Tomb of the Giants?
Well, yeah, did you not see the giant skeleton and the giant dog man?
Well, I saw the giant skeleton. I figured the dog skeletons were just large, maybe a Great Dane or something.
Did you not see the Michelle Obama statue on the way in? But I don't want to get on that again. Not for another whole video.
She's only 5'11". It's not that tall.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to push that point. Let's talk about somebody else who's freakish physically.
Shaq?
Who? Shaq. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of weird.
Andre the Giant? I mean...
You know what the real
mystery...
mystery...
giant in his name.
The real mystery with Shaquille O'Neal is, how old is that man? It seems like he's been playing basketball since well before I was born.
Well, he's not playing
never
basketball
aged
anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, but he's never aged. He looks exactly the same as he did.
Well, it's because he drank from the fountain of youth.
Do you remember the 90s? Was it in the
90s?
Kazam? Do you remember Kazam? Is that what it was?
No, I don't remember Kazam.
He did a really bad movie where he was a genie. He was kind of like Smushy, except with less killing.
I think I remember the movie, but I didn't actually watch the movie. I tended to stay towards good movies.
Oh, that's very pretentious. I'm guessing you never watched Space Jam either.
I did watch Space Jam.
Oh, well, that was a fine Oscar
winner.
winner.
Unlike some people. I never got into basketball.
Oh, you don't have to be into basketball.
I never
to watch
looked
Space
at
Jam.
Michael Jordan or Shaq and was like, oh my god, they're so cool.
That's a little racist. Just a little bit.
It is racist against people who play basketball.
By the way, I found an extra bonfire, which was a relief. I had no idea it was here.
Larry Bird.
Last time I passed it up, so actually between videos, because I was so irritated with this part, I went and looked up some guides and some maps, and
You
found
cheater.
an extra. Yeah, I cheated. I whipped out the strategy guide, as though those still exist.
Are you talking about the giant magazines that you could buy for the Super Nintendo that told you where everything was?
Yeah, you remember you go into Blockbuster and they have the games for rent, and then you also can buy the strategy guides while you're there to get through the game quicker, and that's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, I remember those. That was back before the internet.
Well, I mean, the internet was there. It's just Al Gore was putting the finishing touches on it.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Thanks, Al Gore. The more you know.
Menu, the game!
Well, you know, you have to repair some things.
Yeah, so how's that not speeding anything up going?
Well, again, I really want the viewer to be as bored and filled with distaste as I was during this. I mean, look at me, trying to figure out what to do with another one of these dog monsters.
Well, I mean, you killed it pretty quickly.
I did. I actually had to rely pretty heavily on the pyromancy for this.
Hey, I'm not Dingo. I don't know what those things mean.
Well, you know, pyromancy. Remember your Greek roots from school? Pyro, fire. That's a thing.
Well, I get that it's fire, but I understand it's a magical something or another, but you say you have to rely on pyromancy like that means something to me.
Yeah, pyromancy, magic fire, mancy, necromancy.
I get that it's magic fire, but it's relying on pyromancy a bad thing? Does it like use up skill points?
No, it's kind of a...
I don't know.
Okay, you played Modern Warfare, right? You played some Modern Warfare. Didn't you?
A little. Not a big Modern Warfare guy.
Do you remember the much beloved... I'm sure Dingo talked about this during the time that we played. The much beloved activity of noob tubing, where you just fire grenades from your gun.
Know.
Okay, pyromancy is the Dark Souls version of noob tubing. It's really kind of cheap and kind of loserish.
It's really easy to use and overpowered.
It's really easy to use and overpowered, exactly. But even it barely gets me through this. This horrible, terrible level that was designed by somebody going through severe depression.
I never really got the idea of noob tubing. I mean, it's a grenade tube on the bottom of an M16. It really shouldn't be used for close range combat.
Well, there's not quite as much at stake on Modern Warfare as there is in real life. I do need to point to the video here because this is interesting. You see that weird glowy
It's a
thing?
glowing door.
Yeah. I went up to it and it says examine brilliant light, and apparently the door is sealed. Now, because I was woefully confused by this and had no idea what to do, I have to explain to you for a minute that apparently I forgot to do something before ever coming to the Tomb of the Giants. And because of that, the door is not open. So, notice Smushy...
Well, you know that, I mean, if the seal's broken, you're not supposed to buy it.
Well, that's... You know, Smushy is, he's definitely got the seal still in place. So, basically, I was weeping at this point. That's why I just leapt off of a cliff. I was weeping at this point because I thought I was going to have to walk all the way out and then come back. But what I realized, fortunately, is that I could just warp.
Teleport?
Yeah, I could teleport out and fix it. Again, I had to check a guide because Dark Souls tells you nothing. It tells you nothing. And I didn't know that I was going to have to do this. So I stopped and thought about it for a minute. And then decided to warp out. See, this is just... I wanted to show it this way, in its raw form. I felt like we all had to see this together.
All joined in the misery. Everyone weep in unison now.
It's
well, I do
terrible.
want to point something out.
Okay.
I do want to point something out. That grenade tubes do make one of the most fun sounds you will ever hear.
Thump. Thump.
Yes, that is one of my favorites. You just died again.
No, I jumped down the hole.
What?
That's where you have to go.
Okay, wait, hold up. So, if you fall down a large surface anywhere else, you die. But if you do it here, you live.
Did you not see the pixie dust coming off of my feet? I landed on Tinkerbell. She's
I
dead,
did.
but now I can fly.
So why can't you fly in other places?
It's fairy dust. It wears off. I smashed Tinkerbell. She is deceased. I took her power briefly, and that's pretty much all I can do.
What is it? What is this thing?
Do you like my big cereal bowl?
Are you going into an anus? Is this an anus?
Smushy's about to have a big bowl of cereal. Look at this. Mmm, Wheaties. Mm. He's looking at it lovingly. Oh, now it's filled with Tinkerbell's corpse.
It is an anus.
That looks more like a urine stream firing straight into the air.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
But you know how you have this feeling of not really understanding what's happening when you watch one of these cutscenes? I'm the same way. I have no idea what's actually going on. If Dingo was here, he would explain it. But right now I feel like I'm watching something in another language.
You know, I actually did watch something in another language the other day, but luckily I had subtitles.
Yeah, this gives you none. Gives you no subtitles.
That was actually the Raid Redemption. Great movie.
I watch everything with subtitles. I don't know why. It helps me. It helps
The same
me
reason that
with
we
reading.
play all of our games in subtitles?
I don't know. Alright,
So, are you going to teleport back now?
I did. I teleported back. So
Oh.
now I've got to run back through because that was the most fun. Everybody watches. I kill the
Yay,
same
running.
enemies over and over. Hooray for repetitious games.
Did I just hear a bloop?
I don't know. Did you hear foop?
No, not foop, a bloop. Like the. Did I message you while you were playing this?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody probably did. Of course,
Oh, you
when I
have to
say
kill
somebody,
you have
it's...
a giant arrow sticking out of your shoulder.
Yeah, that's
Point that out.
that's actually an endurance thing. It's like those ankle weights you put on when you're jogging. Smushy just stabs an arrow in his shoulder to help him exercise.
Well, it does add some extra weight, so he's used to running at a higher weight.
Have you been watching Gotham?
I am watching Gotham, yes.
Okay, that's kind of what young Bruce Wayne does. He stabs himself with things in order to teach himself to be tough. It's all a little bit ridiculous,
He also
but kind of
stands on
fun.
ledges to teach himself to not be afraid of heights.
I will not have vertigo. I will not have vertigo. Yeah, you better be good at that the first time you try it.
I just got done reading Batman Year One, by the way.
That's a good one. That's a good one. David Mazzucchelli's art in that, I think, is the best Batman art. Well, it's definitely in the top 5.
I just want to point out that we're finding other topics other than this video to
The Tomb of the
talk
Giants,
about
really.
because
I mean,
you didn't put it in high speed.
you can't do that though. You can't. Oh, look at this. I'm gonna try and sneak past the skeleton. Yeah, that's not working. He is. He is angry. So now I'm gonna try to outrun the skeleton to see if that works. Who's taking bets? Sound off in the comments below. Will it work? Oh, nope, here he is.
Obviously not. Did you? Okay, you're not dead. You're close to being dead.
Watch this. Watch this save, though. Oh, just before he kills me. And then the giant skeleton. Yeah.
His friend got you. I will avenge your death, Jimmy.
See, I had no idea that giant skeletons used a buddy system just like Boy Scouts. You're actually not allowed to leave
And the
alone.
Army. Army has a buddy system too.
Well, I was never in the Army, but I was a Boy Scout. So...
I mean, it's a good system. It's a good system.
It does work. It makes urinating a little bit uncomfortable.
What? Can you backstab him with your fiery sword?
No, you can't backstab the big ones. You can't even taint stab. It's a huge flaw in the system.
You'd think you'd be able to taint stab. I mean, they are kind of high off the ground. It'd be an easy target.
Yeah. Yeah, and Smushy's got his big flaming sword, but he just doesn't do it.
But Smushy's very respectful to giants. He feels bad for them because they were probably made fun of as a child.
Or by me in the last video. Of course, I made fun of short people, too. I'm sorry, Peru.
That's a great apology to all of our Peruvian viewers.
Hey, the average height of a male in Peru is 5'4". So, I mean, that's something. I spent some time in Wikipedia after the last video when we were done recording.
And you're still walking. Oh, there's so much walking.
But look, now the door is open, so I get to go
that's
inside.
good. There's not a glowy lava door that you have to walk through.
So let's see how long I survive in here. Oh, look.
Well, what were you killing?
That's
there
one
was
of
nothing
those,
there.
No, there was something there. I'm trying to think of the word for them. Oh, the gecko. Remember, it's the geckos that drop rare resources? I've killed a few throughout the game. Yeah.
Is that a centipede?
No, this is the Goodwill, the people from Goodwill, if you remember.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember because I didn't watch the last video.
No, but that's what we were talking about when we talked about the people in Goodwill, are the giant, towering skeleton monsters. Alright, so we're still running along a shallow ledge. This is as much fun as you
now
can
you
have
have an
without
arrow
laughing.
sticking through your chest. There we go.
Oh, there's another one. Smushy's going
I
for
love how you're
2. 3!
Taking him like a champ.
Ah, he blocked that one. Alright, let's see what happens here. Come on, Smushy. I have faith in you. It is unfounded, but I have faith in you.
Hey, look, they have a buddy system.
Everything has a buddy system. Alright, so this is a really
Except
irritating
for Smushy.
part.
Smushy doesn't have a buddy. Hey, there's one behind you now.
Yeah, that was the problem I didn't know about. You can't roll past it. Man, I hate this game so much. You have no idea how annoyed I was during the entire playing of this. It was miserable. And here we
Tomb
go.
of the Giants.
Starting over because this is the funnest part of the game. Maybe I'm legitimately terrible at it, and there's definitely an argument to be made there, but this is just a rough part.
I mean, it kind of goes back to what you were talking about before, and what we've kind of talked about on some of the Left 4 Dead videos. There's a fine line between challenging and annoying. And, you know, if you just go too far on the challenging, it just becomes annoying because you have to do it over and over and over.
Yeah, and the endless repetition, the dark, the tiny walkways, the irritating enemies. Yeah, it is the perfect storm of boisterous gameplay.
It's like an enemy the Hulk can't smash.
That's really random, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright, so here we go.
He slapped you in the face. That's just rude.
That was clearly one of the female skeletons. Or a cowboy.
I just want to point out that
Cowboys
trying to
always
hit
slap.
something with your face is not an effective means of attack.
Clearly you've never watched Rocky.
Well, that was more of a defensive move, not an offensive move.
I actually, just a second. Since I've had to stay up with the new baby so much, I'm usually up until about 3 every night. So in the last 2 days, I watched 4 Rocky movies. And in every single movie...
Did you watch Rocky 4?
Yes. I watched 4 Rocky movies. That was the 4th one. I don't watch the 5th one or the 6th one because what's the point? But anyway, in all 4 movies...
Rocky 4 was the best Rocky movie.
Oh, it is. It's the best because it's one of the most ridiculous movies I've ever seen. But he spends pretty much all of every fight blocking with his face. I mean, he doesn't put his hands up. It's like boxing 101, cover your face. And he just won't do it.
Not Rocky.
It's the heavyweight champion of the world who can't block his own face. Rocky!
Well, I mean, Rocky 4 had everything. It had a robot. It had Rocky training in the
robot
snow.
is so ridiculous. Oh man, are these references are too old for our audience? I'm scared. At least sound off in the comments below. Have you seen Rocky 4?
Okay, wait, no. If you've not seen the Rocky series, watch watch the Rocky series. I mean, the first ones, I mean, they're ridiculous, but they're somewhat believable. Then you get to Rocky 4, which is just the 80s on crack.
The first movie's actually really
am I
compelling, by
wrong?
the way. Oh, by
I mean,
the
they're still a little bit.
well, yeah,
over
they're
the
still a
top.
little bit, they're still a bit goofy, but the first one's actually a really good movie. Look at this. You remember Pinwheel, the boss that I fought earlier?
Yeah.
Well, apparently they decided I should just fight 5 of him in one room while running from tiny baby skeletons on the ground. That just, I thought that was a good idea.
It seems like you're doing a decent enough job.
Yeah, the good thing is Pinwheel is extremely weak to fire. You know, I got hit in the back with some magic right there. That was actually pretty painful. But,
Wait, why is he not giant? This is the Tomb of the Giants.
he's like the one normal-sized guy here. That was an awesome ending for that fight. That was awesome. So I thought I'd go down here and look at some of the tiny skeletons, because I haven't really seen them. I'm scared to really engage with them. But they are clearly the opposite of giant. And I don't really understand it. I'm sure, again,
They
there's
might
some...
be giant for their species.
That's true. Size is completely relative. To all the germs in the room, that is still enormous.
Curse you, microbes.
But honestly, it looks like something just really silly they put in the game. But I know that if Dingo was here, I mean, there's obviously some complex story reason why they're here, which is probably more of something like an excuse. Let's have some tiny skeleton babies. Let's rationalize it in the story.
It's just like the justification for Boba Fett being awesome. I mean, it was completely backwards to the movie.
Are you talking about Clone Wars? Is that one?
No. I'm talking about it's a Boba Fett. Yeah, it was Boba Fett that died in episode 6.
I think so. Yes.
All right, go and watch his death in episode 6. Just go and watch it and tell me that he died in a awesome way.
He died in an awesome
Do you remember
way.
how he died?
He
do you remember
falls.
how
He
he
falls
died?
down the giant desert vagina, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. But do you know why he does that?
Strange fetish. I actually really don't remember.
Alright, it's because Han, while blind, accidentally hits him in the back with a spear which sets off his jetpack, which causes him to fall.
That sounds more like a Japanese safety training film.
And yet, that is one of the most BA people in the Star Wars universe, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, boss battle.
Dies from a blind man hitting him in the back on accident.
This is Gravelord Nito, and he is Nito.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's in the name.
He's Lord of the Grave. Is he going to dance for us?
He kind of does. He's a little bulky. He could afford to shed a few skeletons hanging from his giant body. So this is Gravelord Nito.
I know I'm going to get a bunch of hate mail in the comments now because of that comment.
But anyway.
Whoa! What is that?
Yeah, apparently he has ethereal dog penises hidden
Orders? Is
throughout
that
the
a
ground.
order?
Something like that. But anyway, I didn't know he could do it, and so it was pretty irritating when it happened. So he basically comes at you with this giant scythe. He has those little skeleton minions that kind of jump around and hurt you. You can kill them, but it's really hard to get all of them. And then that right there is his main threat, which is this kind of area of effect thing where he shoots out toxic stuff at you. It does a lot of damage, a whole bunch of damage. So I'm kind of throwing these fireballs directly into his face to see if I can kill him.
How's that working for you?
It's actually, at this point of the fight, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident about, I mean, he's taking some hits, but I got plenty of Sunny D. So I wasn't too, but that area of effect thing, boy, that is a powerful attack. Even with my shield up, it just tears me to pieces. So I'm just lobbing them at him. The bad thing is I'm running out of fireballs, and that's my best way of hurting him. And he's pushing me kind of far back, which apparently is a bad thing because it can attract more skeletons. Oh, he got me with the dog penis. Alright, half his life gone, but he's going dog penis crazy. Apparently, and I figured this out through fighting with him, if you get far away, he could actually do more damage to you. You gotta stay pretty close. And that skeleton just riposted me. He actually just blocked my attack and then stabbed me in the chest. Which was really... So now this is not going as well. I don't have much fire left. Not feeling super good.
Did he just grab you?
Yes, he did. He actually just snagged me. Which I didn't know he could do that either. Thanks, walkthroughs. And now a giant skeleton is just smashing me to death. And there you go. First attempt at Gravelord Nito.
Oh, you died. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely abysmal. Okay, actually at this point I threw my controller and broke it off the end of the cable. And you'll notice the screen go black for a second where I hit Alt F4 and shut it down. So it took me about 15 minutes to get up the willpower to come back and play this stupid thing again. Because it's so miserable.
Good example you're setting there for the kids, Jotsam.
Well, you know what?
Throwing the controller.
When the kids, whoever those happen to be, have 3 children, one of which is newborn, and they're surviving on half the sleep that they usually get and trying to beat Dark Souls, they are perfectly welcome to throw the controller. I salute them for throwing the controller.
But do you have to go all the way back through, kill all the thingies again, and all
Oh
that good
yes.
stuff?
And again, I would have sped it up, but I wanted everybody to suffer. I want the whole world to suffer.
So we get to see you kill Pinwheel again 5 times.
Yes. Which actually, I didn't think he would respawn, because you know how some special enemies, they won't respawn if you kill them once. Yeah, that's not true. That is not true at all for Mr. Pinwheel and his barbershop quartet. Actually, a quintet,
Well,
I
they're
guess.
very big in Wisconsin.
Yeah, as soon as they finish a number and the audience applauds, they blast them with magic and sear everyone's heads off. That's really pleasant.
Well, I mean, you know, it's what you get for the price of admission. You know, you pay less, and sometimes you get your head seared off. That's just...
All suicidal music lovers, guess what's coming to Wisconsin?
Are you saving your fire now?
Yeah, I figured, hey, I'll save my fire and see what happens, but this sword I'm using is just not doing the trick. I was trying to avoid using the Fury sword, the Quay-like sword that I got that does fire. But then I decided that was not a good idea, so I'm just going to get it. If I can find it in my
Where are
massive
you keeping
inventory.
all these weapons at?
Oh, I'm going to have to tell you a few things about Tushy.
Your father had to keep this watch.
It's like that. It's like that. Now, listen. It is exactly as described by Christopher Walken, but with Time Lord technology.
So it's bigger on the inside.
It's
is what you're
way
saying.
bigger on the inside. This is such an irritating
You know,
part of the
Smushy
game.
used to be an adventurer before he took an arrow to the chest.
Wait a minute. How do you know about that line?
How do you... Everyone knows about that line.
Do they? I mean, I've played Skyrim, so I know about it. But how do you know about it?
It's a huge internet meme. That's how I know about it.
Well, okay. I guess if you read memes, whatever they are.
Okay, like you don't know what a meme is.
No, unfortunately, I've been on Facebook before.
You might be able to fool the listeners at home with your whole "I don't listen to music" thing.
Actually, I do listen to the occasional movie soundtrack. And this is strange, but I really like musicals.
I want to point out that arrow, that arrow is going where he keeps his weapons.
That's the key You have to have the key to unlock it. I'm gonna have to use a fireball
So what you're
here.
saying is that giant skeleton is just trying to give you your key back.
Yeah. He's trying to get into Smushy's Fortress of Solitude, if you know what I mean. Okay, he's dead. Alright, I am moving on to the pinwheels because this is a stupid level.
You're dying. You're dying.
Yeah,
a
this
terrible,
isn't going
painful
really
death.
well so far. But there's only 6 minutes left in the video, so we know this has to end eventually. That is my.
Now,
That's
whether or
what's
not it
keeping me
ends with
going.
you succeeding is another question.
Yeah, that is another question, because it could be that I just punch my fist through the screen of the computer to finish my little temper tantrum.
Alright, taking bets now. If you've not gotten to the end of the video, leave in the comment section below whether or not you think Jotsam actually succeeds. Not looking good.
Okay, yeah, so I'm getting hit with a few balls of magic, but I'm a good person.
Goodness gracious. Great balls of magic.
It is true that video games kind of bring out the worst in me. I was actually playing Shovel Knight earlier, and I nearly threw one of my children who stepped in front of the TV. Had a panic attack because they were covering my Shovel Knight. That's a pretty bad. That's not great
I think you
priorities.
might have a problem, Johnson. I think you might have a problem.
I just need to not play video games around anyone who can see me. Oh, blind people only.
We might need to hold an intervention.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the first controller I smashed. Oh, Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube. Boy, I smashed that GameCube controller into 1,000 pieces.
Well, the GameCube controllers weren't exactly the most sturdy pieces of equipment.
No, because when I did the same thing with an Xbox controller later on for another game that I can't remember at the moment, it only cracked it. But the GameCube controller literally exploded. I was actually pretty surprised. The shrapnel hit me in the face.
GameCube. I remember the GameCube.
Come on,
Those
Smushy.
skeletons are tearing you apart.
Yeah, try not to look like a fool, Smushy. Not in front of our friends.
Smushy and Friends, the animated series.
I just cannot kill that last skeleton. I think Nito killed him. I'm not sure. Get him! Get him, Smushy! See, if I stay close, he actually has more trouble hurting me. Until he does that big area of effect thing.
So what you're saying is the Charmin strategy.
Yeah, it actually
wow,
is true for Nito, even though he does some serious damage with that thing, but I was expecting it. He hurts you with that pretty easily. Set him on fire, set him on fire.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah, Smushy is a big fan of the Doors, mostly because he likes drugs. And the idea of setting people on fire. Smushy also kills his own skeleton minions, which is pretty useful once you actually get into it.
Well, they're disposable. Hey, look, there's your stuff.
Alright, here's the problem. I'm out of fire. So now I have to try to beat him with the sword. Which I do not recommend to anyone. Never try to kill anything with a sword. It's way harder than it looks. Alright, look how much health he has left. Come on, Smushy. Smushy.
Oh, Smushy. Oh,
Smushy.
get up, buddy.
Get in there and take those last hits. Oh, Smushy. You're such a loser. Your mother never loved you. Alright. Gravelord Nito is finally vanquished. So let's go ahead and begin the process of leading this out. Let's do this.
Alright, if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. Post in the comment section below if you hated one of our comments. Between Johnson and myself, we offended somebody. Also, leave it a comment below if you'd like Dingo to join in on the next one, because strangely he actually balances us out somehow.
He allows me to breathe. The guy talks non-stop. Now I have to take that horrible burden.
Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter because we post things sometimes, occasionally, and it also gives you an update when we post a video, so you don't have to keep checking your YouTube. You can get a video update on Twitter because reasons. And
Stop that constant
So,
refreshing. Sign up for our Twitter.
because we know that you waited with bated breath for Crystal Beagle videos. So for Crystal Beagle playthroughs, this is Kreslev.
This is Jotsam, and this is the ghost of Dookie Dingo.
And Dingo's not here.
Yeah. Alright, good night, everybody.